G'day everyone, artist Wayne Dowsend here with the history of Australia's most famous muscle car, the Mad Max Interceptor. But did you know that the menacing black Interceptor started out its life as an ordinary XB GT Falcon hardtop? In November 1973, a polar white Ford Falcon XB GT hardtop rolled off Ford's production line. The car was one of the last 86 imported big port US 4V engined, top loader equipped GT hardtops built by Ford Australia. In 1977, the original Mad Max movie's art director, John Dowding, commissioned custom car specialists, Graphics International, to create the way out vehicle which would be used in the film. Graphics' Ray Berkeley took on the brief, which basically stated that they wanted a black car to look evil. It had to look different, and the paint finish had to be both gloss black and matte black. Among the subcontractors Ray Berkeley used to source specialist bodywork to create the black Interceptor was former Ford Australia stylist Peter Arcady-Payne. At the time, Arcady-Payne was working as a design consultant in Melbourne, having already left Ford. But one of the last projects Arcady-Payne undertook for the Blue Oval was designing a show car for the 1977 Melbourne Motor Show, which he named Concorde. Apart from that most famous Concorde front, also known as a Monza front, were fiberglass roof and boot spoilers, and wheel arch flares, all moulded into the body of the Pursuit Special. And as I said, the paint scheme was gloss and matte black, which closely followed the blackout designs of the famous Ford XB GT. Other changes to the stock car were steel sunraiser wheels, painted black, along with an exhaust system that consisted of glass packs and straight pipes, which ended with 4 pipes on each side of the car, topped with zoomy flares, sticking their heads out like 4 snakes in front of the rear wheels. And last but not least, but certainly not the least obvious, was a Y-and supercharger protruding from the bonnet, topped with a Scott injector hat, which on the movie car was all fake, allowing Max Rokitansky to turn the supercharger on and off, which of course was a fantastic idea as it added a lot more drama to the film. Once filming wrapped up in 1978, Murray Smith, who was one of the mechanics who worked on the film, was given the car. Murray tried selling the car for $7,000, but when that failed, he removed the ornamental blower and used the car for his daily commutes to work. The film Mad Max received a polarised reception upon its release in April 1979. Filmed on a budget of 400,000 Aussie dollars, it earned more than 100 million US dollars worldwide and actually held the Guinness record for most profitable film, naturally paving the way for a sequel.
Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior.
The now famous black Mad Max Interceptor was repurchased from Murray Smith, and the Interceptor's second coming saw several significant changes ahead of the even more successful Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior. A new blower, different side pipes and rear wheels were installed. While the original film was shot around Little River, west of Melbourne, the bigger budget Mad Max 2 was set near Silverton and Broken Hill in far western New South Wales. The rougher roads explain the removal of the lower part of the car's nose for the 1981 blockbuster. But the biggest change with the Interceptor was the removal of the rear windscreen and boot lid to accommodate a pair of massive custom-built fuel tanks, reflecting the scarcity of fuel in the time the second film was set. A post-apocalyptic wasteland. Owing to a much larger budget, 2 cars were used in the filming of Mad Max 2, And when eventually the film's story required the Black Interceptor to be destroyed in a spectacular crash and burn up sequence, that's when the duplicate car was used. But what about the original car? Well, when the filmmakers had no more use for it, the car was collected by a used metal dealer from Broken Hill for scrap, destined to be lost forever. Or was it? Although the Interceptor was supposed to be scrapped, the new owner was reluctant to destroy the important car, and instead it was ultimately passed on to a colleague, Ray Evans from Adelaide. The car then sat outside Ray Evans' scrapyard for more than 3 years and was the subject of much interest. When a fan of the film series, Bob Fosenko, spotted the car, he realised he had to have it. And after negotiations, Bob became the Interceptor's new owner. $25,000 later, the car was restored and it went on a tour of Australian shopping centres where it was a huge success. After the Interceptor's whirlwind tour of Australia, it ended up at the National Motor Museum in Birdwood, South Australia. From there it was sold and ended up overseas to be displayed in the Cars of the Stars Motor Museum in England. But where is the Interceptor now? Well, I have it on good authority that as of 2011, the V8 Interceptor was bought by the Miami Auto Museum, where it's currently on display. Apparently it's in pretty rough shape, but that doesn't stop people coming from far and wide to lay their eyes on this iconic Aussie muscle car. Fast forward to 2015, and the Mad Max Interceptor rises from the ashes like a phoenix, reborn for the post-apocalyptic action film Mad Max Fury Road. This time we see the Interceptor far more worn than ever before. The left rear tyre is filled with rags. One of the large rear fuel tanks is missing, making room for all kinds of junk. The Concorde front has sharper corners, and the car is filled with rust. And again, in Fury Road, we see the Interceptor destroyed, only to rise one last time in a guise that is almost unrecognisable. The Mad Max Interceptor now appears to be on steroids, furnished with a new huge engine, a new chassis, deployable spikes, a harpoon gun, twin superchargers, and a sandblasted bare metal finish. The car is jacked up at the rear with monster tyres and now has side steps. Once more, the Mad Max Interceptor is destroyed, never to be seen again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the history of the Mad Max V8 Interceptor. So thank you, and especially you, for watching. I'm artist Wayne Dowsett, and I'll see you on the road.